Since the release of their debut album Treehouse back in 2018, Sophie Hollywell and Tucker Halpern, best known to fans around the world as Sophie Tucker, have perfected their unique blend of pop, house music, Brazilian funk, bossa nova, and drum and bass, with a single goal in mind: get people to dance. This is the Spout Podcast, where famous people spout off about more than what they're famous for. And today, that's Sophie Tucker.
Sophie Tucker. We've got Sophie, we've got Tucker. It makes sense. You guys are in very different locales right now, I can tell.
Well, actually, not that different.
I've been sick, so Sophie's didn't need to sit next to me for a while.
Got you. We're social distancing to make sure we can keep this tour alive, where you guys are literally everywhere.
Yeah, we actually just 1 minute ago had to announce a bunch of cancellations for the next few weeks.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we won't be everywhere for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But in general, yes, we're everywhere. That's probably why I'm so sick.
You guys are one of the more international bands, duos that I know, in terms of just constantly crisscrossing. You see it a lot with DJs, but I would class you guys as more of live performance. It's definitely tricky to maintain the health, to maintain switching it up, whether you're doing a DJ set in Vegas or whether you're doing something that's more live performance at a festival. Do you have tips or tricks for staying healthy? I know it's kind of an awkward time to ask that, Tucker, but what usually works?
Why doesn't Sophie tell? Because she's doing better.
All right, Sophie, we'll leave with you.
Well, it's funny because I feel like I do a lot of things all the time because I just know that if I didn't, it would just be too hard for me.
Sure.
So I eat really well, and I don't always go to the after party, and I wake up early, and I see the sunshine. Yeah, I don't always. It's not my norm. I exercise daily, and I do therapy weekly, and all of just the little things. I just feel like our lifestyle, it throws me off kilter so much in the best way possible. But sure. I kind of do all of the things that you can imagine in order to keep myself,
Are there
on
any
kilter.
Home remedies or old family lineage things?
I mean,
throwing ass.
Yeah.
We just wrote a whole song about it.
I love it. We'll use that as a transition then, because we throw some ass to feel better. It's not a sentence I thought I was going to say today. All right, yeah, single is Throw Some Ass. It's one of the singles out right now off of Bread that's coming out. I saw the music video, which I love the play on Zoolander, the Sophie Tucker Center for Asses That Don't Move Good.
Yeah, it's based on a true story. I was having chronic back pain, and nothing was working. I went to all sorts of doctors and physiotherapists, and my back pain was consistent. And then we were doing choreography for our Coachella rehearsals, and our Brazilian dancers were like, "Hey, Sophie, you have to do this dance with us. It's, you have to joga bunda, throw some ass." I was like, I don't know, I'm really uncomfortable with this. I don't really think I can do it. But then as soon as I learned it, I basically found that every time that I was doing the choreography, my back pain got better.
I love that. I thought you were just being a little tongue-in-cheek, Tucker, but no, throwing some ass can help you feel better.
Yeah, unfortunately, not for what I'm sick with.
No, I do agree with you, Sophie, because the same thing with me. I have some pretty chronic back pain too, and running, dancing, that helps. It's funny because in your head you're like, I don't know, I'm not feeling good, I don't want to do it. Obviously, seek your medical professionals. But talk to me about this music video, because it's brilliant. I love it. It's funny, it's entertaining, but also it kind of really just goes with the vibe of old 90s, early 2000s songs that it's there's a whole entertainment value of other than what you're just hearing. I feel like there's not a lot of art put into music videos, at least to the degree it used to be, and you guys aren't the antithesis to that. So let's break down this video, because Tucker, you reveal a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it would be fun. I guess I thought it would be funny. It was actually my idea to bare my butt.
Yeah, mooning the crew.
Yeah, it was a funny day on set because I had my ass out the whole time, and we were in Rio in Brazil, and it was funny. My ass was a lot whiter than everyone else's. I don't think it had ever seen the sun. ever.
Out came the camera.
I know, out came the sunscreen.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
it was really fun to kind of, you'd expect from a song like that you'd see a lot of like female butts, or maybe Sophie would be throwing her butt around, and we kind of thought it would be funny and cheeky, pun intended,
Yeah.
to throw my ass in instead, because I didn't think people would expect it.
I love that you play the part of medical professional of throwing ass too. It's like, listen, this is what I'm prescribing you.
Yeah, I try to just like figure out what roles I can play in the music videos that can add a little comic relief, maybe.
I love that. Sophie, how does the visual process work? Because obviously visuals are so huge for you guys, from being on stage to your actual recorded performances like a music video. Who's starting with what? I know a lot of the production is shared between the two of you, but I'd love to know how that thought process works out.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's just a brainstorm session where we're just going back and forth being like, what if we did this? Oh my God, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? Like, that's sort of how it sounds.
One-upping each idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the more exciting the idea is, like the more excited we get about it, the better the idea is.
Yeah, and usually it just snowballs and it's just sort of this like what if thing. And then the amazing thing is when it happens and you're like, I can't believe that in our imagination we wanted to create a center for asses that don't move good and like this really ornate palace in the jungle, and like it happened. It's wild.
So that was an actual palace. That wasn't a set.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah, it's called I'll butcher the name, Sophie can say it.
Palacio das Laranjeiras.
Oh, yeah. I could have got that first try. Come on. The what if we get Heidi Klum in a video for Spiral?
Literally.
Yeah.
No, for that one we were like, okay, we watched her dance to our song Jacare, and we were like, wow, this is iconic. We should have her be in a music video. And so we just reached out and we're like, hey, we want to be, and we were friends at this point, we want to be in a music video. Like, we love how you dance and it's so fun. And she was like
into it.
Yeah, but she was like, only if you're in it with me. We're like, okay.
You're like, twist my arm,
Yeah.
I suppose.
So then I had to figure out, how do I fit into this video?
Right.
And I was like, okay, I was the doctor, now I guess I need to be the pizza boy.
There's a certain category of films that I feel like these concepts can lend themselves to.
I know, I'm pretty porny with my ideas, I guess.
You said it. I liked, especially with Heidi, because I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was like 2008, 2009 when Guitar Hero was huge. She did a play on the Jerry Maguire playing guitar, sliding in the dun 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 dun. So it was cool to see an instrument back in her hands for that brief moment you guys were in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I don't know
fun.
that reference, but I feel like I should.
Yeah, she did a whole Guitar Hero campaign, which was really cool. Obviously, she's married to the guitarist from Tokyo Hotel, no big deal. So she's got it in her blood. What was at the risk of being the most tripe interviewer ever? I just got to ask. You're friends with Heidi, but what's it like just having that moment captured on camera when you get to have that girls' night? Let's get over this breakup. Let's just feel good about ourselves. How much of that was acting? How much of it was just like you forget the cameras are even on?
She is the most warm, welcoming, generous, excitable, kind, fun, sexy, welcoming person ever. Like, it was such a joy. And the truth is, we have had the exact experience off camera as we have on camera. And
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I couldn't speak more highly of her.
Yeah. She definitely makes things so comfortable and fun for everyone. Like,
That's great.
for such a legend, I mean, that was like a really long day, like early morning, super late night shoot. And she was in heels jumping around for like 15 hours. Never complained once about anything, like, at all. And she could have, she's her. We were all like just grateful she was there, but she was probably the, most fun, humble person there. It's crazy.
I love it. We've got a couple songs and videos from Bread, which is coming out in, I guess we can say next month now. That's crazy. It's July 1st, at the time of this being recorded. But your next single, Hey Homie, thank you guys for your team lending me the album a little early. I have thoughts, and they're very good thoughts, but I want you guys to speak on this first, so I hear what you're excited about with Hey Homie first, and why you chose that as kind of the final follow-up single before the album comes out.
What did you think of it? I'm so curious.
I
You're like
think
one of the first people who have ever heard it, so I want to hear your
I didn't know
thoughts.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the drum and bass meets bossa nova vibe. I love that I hear a lot of homages to Sinatra in, what track was that? I think it was Perfect Someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, really like, I don't know how much of these we're going to be usable before it comes out, but Goddess with Disguise, or Goddess in Disguise, MC Bola. Just these tracks that make you want to move. And in my head, it's kind of like, the scenes that every like James Bond movie has where he's on the boat going away, like in some bay. That's the music that's playing. It's the, something's about to go down, and I don't know if I'm going to find myself dancing, losing my mind, running a heist, but it's got that the night is ready for me energy. So that's where I stand on it.
Love.
Wow, yeah, you nailed it. This is the energy of the album. And
Yeah.
For us, the reason Hey Homie is next is because we're just eager to put it out because we love it so much.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs that is really special to us. We are like our own biggest fans in the sense that like I just listen to the song all the time. Like I just love it. And
it's so, we have a crew of producers here that were kind of hearing me preview it, and I was trying to like, okay, you guys can't share this with anyone, but I mean everyone's just bobbing their head. It's just one of those that song specifically, Hey Homie, but the whole album really is just one of those things where it can be applied to so many different atmospheres. It can absolutely be the turn up song in the middle of the dance floor. It can also be you're just cruising by yourself, having a good day. You want some good vibes and good music playing too.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it, but specifically because we're getting really close to Hey Homie coming out. I mean, yeah, that one, it's like a bit of a different side of us. We occasionally will show the like chiller, more emotional feel opposed to like the throw some ass party feel. And they both are parts of us.
Yeah.
And this one particularly, I think just has sort of risen above, like this is probably both our favorite songs on the album, and we're really excited to see if the world agrees or what.
So how do you decide to not put that out first? Why was that not the lead single then?
Because you just gotta slap people in the face with throw some ass,
You know how it works. You guys have been doing this for a minute. You're not new to the world. You're like, okay, well, get your attention first, and then we're going to slide in the real bangers.
it's really interesting though because we it's hard. Like choosing singles was really hard, and we actually switched it up a little bit because Spiral wasn't supposed to come second, but then this whole thing with Heidi happened, and then the Germany's Next Top Model, so we're like, oh my god, okay, we got to switch it up.
Sure.
So it's we made an album full of singles that we would want to put out on their own, and it was really tricky to choose.
Yeah, especially with having Spiral second, it felt like the third one we wanted to like show a different side because the album's really like diverse in genres and moods and stuff, and
Right.
the first two we put out were like pretty high energy party songs, and like poppier probably. So we really wanted to sort of show the dynamic with this one next.
I love that you use the word dynamic because I think a lot of your songs and music in general, going all the way back to Best Friend, can be described as fusion, right? It's not just one genre. And a lot of people will maybe discover you guys when you're doing a DJ set. A lot of people might discover you when you're doing a full performance. Personally, we've met briefly. It was a long time ago. There's no way you remember this. But I was on a show called TRL on MTV, and you guys performed Best Friend. I was one of the hosts on that.
Oh my
and what I love about
God.
Tucker, I'm going to take you back to that performance for a second. The beginning chime sound, you were actually playing metal plates hanging from like a light tree. What I loved is like, okay, obviously all of this stuff could just be reproduced on a backtrack. But you're like, no, we're going to take the time to recreate as much of this as possible.
Yeah, it's always been a fun part of our thing and challenge to like figure out how to perform electronic music because like we definitely have gotten into DJing more and more, especially after the pandemic and with our residencies in Vegas and stuff. But for our live shows like that one, you know, how can we like embody the energy of the music on stage so it's also a performance, you know, as if it were like a band or something. So
Sure.
it's always been a fun thing we've like tried to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's always been cool to me whenever live instruments get incorporated to DJ sets in general. I mean, obviously Sophie playing guitar helps a lot too. But you know, my dad was one of the first guys to like play drums when there was a DJ back in the 70s and 80s, way before AM and Barker. And so like I've grown up on this idea of there's such an art to production and to the hours and hours and literal days you spend in a studio making something, but also to be able to bring that to life, even if it's not a full band atmosphere. I mean, just the unique ways that you'll pull out MIDI triggers and different setups on your end too, Tucker. It's really cool. And obviously, you know, Sophie, you're kind of a really good singer, no big deal. So that helps a lot too. But it's really cool, and I hope you guys understand it's not lost on people. It really is something that is above and beyond what you go to a club or a festival expecting to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are we feeling? I mean, you know, besides like, you know, we're getting ready, all of this is out. I imagine there was a decent amount of pre-production. This album has probably been locked for a minute. Now we're kind of on that home stretch. We got Hey Homie coming out, and we're a month and change from the album. Are we nervous yet? Do you even get nervous anymore?
I mean,
As Tucker
maybe it's a
Pedialyte.
trope, but I'm just we're so excited. Like, this is all music that we've just really poured ourselves into. So to actually get to share it just feels really good. And right now we're in the phase of just trying to figure out, you know, part of our job is marketing the music and trying to figure out like what's the best way to actually make sure that people hear it, because we love it so much and we put so much energy into the making of it. But now, like, how do we sort of tell the story visually and tell the story in a way that connects with people and that they'll understand like the sentiment that we really wanted when we were making it. So that's the phase that we're in right now, and it's a really fun challenge. And it's, yeah, like we want to give each song their special shine too in creative ways, even though the way that people roll out music now typically is, you know, you're not putting out 10 singles. But we want it to kind of feel that way still.
It's such a unique time, and I'm sure you guys have seen the change along with the rest of the industry from, let's even go back to 2015, 2016, when you guys really started to get known as a duo, to now. You know, there's so many different right ways to do it. It's you know, play a sound and the same 30 seconds and 1,000 different videos before the video comes out. But you also got to play that against, well, I want people to appreciate the song and still have, you know, kind of the shock factor the first time they hear it in its entirety. You don't want to preview too much of it. Have you guys found yourself struggling with that at all, adapting to kind of the new way of releasing music?
I think just like trying to be creative and like figure out what works best, and just like stay curious and stay like learning, because it's just always changing. And if we reject the new way of doing something, then we'll, you know, become ancient pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for anyone, no matter if they're brand new or old in the game. So I think we just like do our best.
That said, like we were just having a conversation yesterday about this, where like there are certain things that are sort of industry standard, quote unquote, and, you know, best practices. And like, we have experimented with listening to the best practices, and sometimes it's just, you just got to listen to your gut and just do the thing that might not be like what is industry standard, but we know that it feels good. And so I think we're also in this process of kind of learning what the landscape is, trying to understand what is quote unquote best practice, but also knowing that like ultimately it's gotta just come from what we really want to share. It's gotta come from our gut. And also, like, you know, it's constantly changing. The landscape is changing, and the reason that it's changing is because of people who decide to listen to their gut. So that's who we want to be.
Yeah, I liked you said stay curious, Tucker. You know, that's something that's so important in general, but especially in arts and media. You know, if you're just going to continue to follow the quote unquote trend, while some times there's the time and place for it, other times it's how do people defer you from other groups, musicians, songs that they'll become one blur if everyone's doing the same thing. So I really like that you guys do things like throw some ass at a center for moving not good or don't move good. I love that you guys do a live stream in a helicopter at Played in New York. No big deal.
Yeah, it's fun. I think the things that really connect are the things that are like exciting new ideas that, like, we work hard and figure out. Like, especially with Throw Some Ass, I think was like an especially exciting one because it had a bit of virality on the internet, and it felt like you can feel the momentum, I think, when you're like in your gut, and it's like a tangible feeling, obviously numbers and socials and stuff, but like there's a momentum that you can either feel, or you feel like you're kind of hitting your head against a wall. And there's not that huge difference between the two almost.
Mm-hmm.
But if from our position, you kind of feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really nice when you get, songs like Throw Some Ass or Purple Hat. Like, that song of ours got big. It had its biggest streaming day like 2.5 or 3 years after it came out.
Which is crazy.
And that was like before TikTok was doing that, regularly. And it's just, you just don't know.
You don't, but you guys tackle it with grace and in an exciting way. I was alluding, you guys were doing a lot of live streams post-pandemic. During the pandemic, you streamed every day. And then post, you were doing a lot of live performances in interesting locales. For those that don't know, Blade is a helicopter service that kind of operates like a really fancy Uber in New York. It is an interesting experience when you take off in a helicopter. I love that we saw that on Tucker's face. He literally was like, if I make a funny face, we're taking off right now. And I'm trying to mix in real time. You've done, I think, from a truck or from a road trip before. Where's the next absurd live stream coming from?
Yeah, we did one in a safari.
Probably
that was really cool.
Probably from our New York house when I'm stuck here for the next few weeks.
Let me rephrase. What's the craziest place that if money didn't matter, we can get all the stars to align, that you'd be like, that would be really cool to do a performance from? Any interest in space?
No. None.
I'm with you. I don't screw with space. I don't get people that are like, man, what's it like on Mars? I'm like, who caars? Go somewhere a year.
I want to go on a bumpy plane ride. Can you imagine a rocket trip? Be throwing up the whole time. No way. I feel like the place I would want to be is like in the Exuma Islands on a boat with all my favorite people.
Love that.
Live stream that all day.
Yeah.
That sounds
Sophie?
great. Let's do that.
Let's do that. I like that description because that's what that album sounds like to me. Bread. It really is. It's one of those, like, you're with the best people in your life. You're having the best time. Be really energetic and dance is the acronym, which is awesome. Plus the lead single too, the name single, Bread, is a hell of a track as well. This whole thing's incredible, guys. I really am excited to see it. We're excited for Hey Homie out first, and then Bread officially out in August. Sophie Tukker, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.